Well, today will be the day of the first U.S. presidential debate, with former President Donald Trump going up against current President Joe Biden. Biden has been at Camp David for a week to prepare for this event. I can't say that I'm really looking forward to this debate. We all know how it is going to go. The moderators will throw Trump very hardball questions about the 2020, which will cause him to rant about that. I don't see them pressuring Biden that much, even though he really deserves it to answer for his mismanagement of the country for the past 3.5 years. They won't ask him about the economy and immigration or his entangling us in multiple foreign wars. On top of everything, they have refused to let prominent independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. into the room. I'm not an RFK fan, but in principle I believe that he ought to be allowed in. I also believe that Jill Stein, Cornel West, and that woke libertarian bloke Chase Oliver also should be allowed on the stage, despite me not voting for any of those candidates either. There is also debate about whether Trump should have agreed to do this at all. Many people on the right say that he was too willing to accept the terms by CNN, while all Biden has to do is not lose as hard as people think to eke out a win. In my view, him taking Biden up on this was a risk, but one that he had to take. Had he said no, the headline would be that Trump won't back up his tough talk. Had he complained about the moderators, the headline would be that Trump is looking for a way out. Trump has been vocal about wanting Biden to take a drug test prior to the debate, but it looks like Biden has declined to do so. A bit odd, considering that if he was clean, a drug test wouldn't be an issue. I have taken numerous drug tests for stupid things, but Biden once again proves that he thinks he's above the average citizen. Also, I have received word that CNN will implement a 1 to 2 minute delay instead of the standard 7-second delay. Why they did this, I don't know. This is supposed to be a live debate. Such a delay is not live in any sense of the word. This comes after the announcement that CNN will not be allowing independent media channels to stream the debate. This will affect political live streamers who wish to do commentary on their own channels. But who am I kidding? We all know why such decisions have been made. We just aren't allowed to talk about it without being labeled conspiracy theorists. I will say that the one good thing about having the debate this early is that people haven't already voted. In my view, all debates should be done before early voting. Case in point, the 2022 Pennsylvania Senate race when Dr. Oz beat down Fetterman, but by that point it was too late because a lot of people had already made up their minds, which actually allowed Fetterman to eke out a win in November. Another big event to note is that Trump will probably be announcing his choice for vice president tonight. I'm not too excited for this, given that most of the names that have been floated around are unimpressive to me. People are saying Doug Burgum, who was governor of, I believe, North Dakota, yes. But I think it would be more helpful to him to have a Rust Belt or Governor Youngkin of Virginia. He needs someone who can absolutely humiliate Harris in the VP debates, which will be easy to do. On top of that, if he does choose Youngkin, that could potentially put Virginia in play for Trump, which would also help him a lot. He needs as many states as he can possibly attain. Now, onward to the potential topics. I have no faith in the topics that will most likely be brought up by the moderators tonight. This debate will be a farce if it becomes all about January 6th, Ukraine, Israel, or whatever America last event has happened in the past 3 years. What we need are talks on immigration. Biden's handling of our southern border has been inexcusable. However, Donald, and I'm going to go off on Donald here for a second because of something he said a couple days ago. That thing you said about giving green cards to college graduates, that ain't it, Chief. I don't believe we should be giving green cards to anybody, especially those who have graduated college, because, those people are going to prestigious institutions such as the political field, tech. We can't be giving out green cards based on the fact that someone's graduated college. It doesn't solve the problem, in my view. There also needs to be reckoning on the economy. Why has inflation continued to spiral out of control? Why are we seeing these odd days where it looks like the stock market is about to crash? How about we stop at what we can clearly see as an incoming recession? I don't know if any of you saw this a couple weeks ago, but there was this one event where I think it was a Berkshire Hathaway stock just went down really, really really far to where I think Warren Buffett probably had a heart attack waking up that morning. And then all of a sudden it was pointed out to be some sort of weird glitch, which is odd. I don't know how that happens, but apparently it was fine, although it looked like we were on the verge of Berkshire Hathaway just losing all their money. But I mean, I guess they fixed it, even though I'm still a bit skeptical of what it was. So, but anyways, onwards. Another issue that I believe we should be talking about in this debate is crime. And this ties into immigration somewhat, but I think it should be its own topic as well. What will either of the candidates do to end the crime epidemic? There's no reason why, as the foremost superpower in this world, we should be deteriorating with high crime. You see these other nations that aren't as powerful as we are, but they hardly have any crime at all, and I know why that is. I'm not going to get into it on this video, but I will do a video on it later. And it has, I use Japan as an example of this, and I'll say why later. But onwards, I also said earlier that Israel and Ukraine shouldn't be the entire debate, and while I do believe that is true, I would also like to hear a section on foreign policy. I would like to hear both men explain their positions. I want to hear what benefit it is to Americans to be entangled in these foreign conflicts. I know Joe Biden's positions on these issues. I would like to hear Trump finally give his answer on whether we should be in Ukraine or not. I do not believe we should be in Ukraine. I would hope that Donald Trump would say the same thing, but I have been hearing a lot of fence sitting on his part. I would like him to clarify his position. Now, in conclusion, above all, while I have reservations about how this debate will be conducted, I am finally happy that we will get to hear Biden explain himself for his conduct over his term. If you couldn't already tell, I'm not really a fan of his administration. I didn't vote for him in 2020. I thought, okay, how bad could he possibly be? I figured I'd give him a chance afterwards, but yeah, I'm not voting for him in 2024. Sorry, Joe. There's just been too many issues which you could have easily avoided that you, for some reason, and I know why, it's all about ideology, can't do it. And I also wish we could have gotten Kennedy, Stein, West, and Oliver up on the stage too, just add insult to injury, because things have to be really bad for four left-leaning third-party candidates to run in this race. Yes, I do consider Kennedy and Oliver left-leaning candidates, because if you look, Kennedy is just an old-school liberal. His father was RFK Sr., who was Attorney General for the John F. Kennedy administration, and was also considered one of the most progressive politicians in American history before he got assassinated. So yes, I do consider Kennedy to be a left-leaning candidate. Stein and West, well, that's obvious. Stein's a Green Party member. West used to be associated with the Greens, but he's gone his own way. But their policies are pretty similar. Now, I will warn those of you who are expecting this to be a Trump blowout for this debate. Now, Joe Biden, Mr. Biden, he doesn't have to do well to win. He doesn't have to win for this debate to be considered a success. What he has to do is not to lose as hard as he's projected to. Everybody has lowered our expectations on Joe's ability to defend himself. While that is true, and I don't believe he will do very well at explaining his positions or explaining his conduct over his term, as long as he can avoid a crash and burn, the headlines will consider this debate a success for him. And it's really annoying that this is where we are at with our incumbent chief executive that we have chosen to lead us over the past 4 years. We can't call someone out on being on stupid policy when people are like, oh, well, where he's expected to be this bad. You can't really blame the guy. Well, okay, yes, I can, and we should be able to call a spade a spade. So anyway, those are just my expectations for how this debate's going to go. I will probably do an after-action report on this later this week and hopefully have it uploaded. I'm going to try and upload more of my commentary to YouTube. I would like to have this extra route open for me, but we'll see how it goes. It's just I have some factors that prevent me from uploading here often. So anyway, we'll see. Have a good day.